Have you ever met someone who shines quietly without saying a word? They work hard, stay focused, and one day suddenly everyone notices their talent and skills. But they don't brag or boast. Instead, their results speak for themselves. This reminds me of a story shared by a wise monk. It's the tale of a poor yet wise farmer and his curious daughter who lived in a tiny village nestled between rolling hills and a sparkling lake. Despite their humble dwelling and worn clothes, the farmer and his daughter seemed content. They spent their days working the land and their evenings in prayer. Now, this farmer was a man of few words. Most villagers thought he was either too simple or too stubborn. They would often laugh at him, saying, "Why doesn't that old man talk more? What use does he have for words anyway?" But the farmer remained calm. He believed that actions spoke louder than words, so he kept working his field, tending to his crops and raising his animals. And somehow, his farm, despite being small, always seemed to thrive. Meanwhile, the farmer's daughter was a chatterbox. She loved exploring the fields and asking her father 1,000 questions. "Why do we plant this seed, Papa? How does the cow give milk? Will our vegetable garden grow big and juicy carrots?" The farmer would patiently answer each question, sharing his knowledge with her. He saw his daughter's curiosity as a flame that needed to be nurtured. Father teaching daughter about nature's cycles in a rustic garden. Worn clothes, soft golden light, vintage village backdrop, timeless wisdom passed down in a peaceful rural setting. One day, a long drought struck the village. It seemed to last forever. The sky turned into a furnace, baking the earth day after day. The river shrunk to a trickle and the fields withered. Fear began to spread through the village. People started blaming the farmer. "See what your prayers have done," they said to him. "You and your silly daughter have brought bad luck to us all." But still, the farmer didn't speak. He continued tending to his small patch of land and praying with his daughter by his side. As the drought worsened, the rich men of the village gathered in the marketplace, boasting about their wealth and power. "I have enough grain to last till next harvest," one man said proudly. "I've sent my servants to bring water from distant lands," said another. They were showing off their survival plans, trying to convince everyone they weren't afraid of the drought. But the farmer stayed away from such talks. He knew that true strength wasn't shown off. One evening, the daughter asked her father, "Why don't we tell others what we are doing? Maybe they will stop blaming us if they knew we had a plan." The farmer stopped digging and looked at her. "Real strength doesn't need noise," he said. "Let the earth see our faith." Then he went back to work, leaving his daughter puzzled but determined. Days turned into weeks, and still there was no rain. People started panicking. Their food supplies dwindled and their animals grew weaker. Even the rich couldn't save everything. But the farmer and his daughter kept going. Every morning they would head to their field, and every evening they prayed for rain. Then one night, as the moon peeked through the clouds, the rain finally came. It poured down in sheets, filling the riverbanks and making the fields green once more. But sadly, most of the crops in the village had already died. All the hard work of the farmers and herders was washed away in the flood. Only the soil remained, waiting for the sun to return. When the people saw this, they felt like giving up. But the next morning, something incredible happened. The farmers' fields, the ones everyone had mocked, were flourishing with new life. Green shoots poked through the mud, ripe vegetables dotted the rows, and the animals seemed happier and healthier than ever before. People couldn't believe their eyes. They ran to the farmer and asked him their secret. How could he have saved his crops when all theirs had been destroyed? The farmer smiled and said, "We just kept working and praying, hoping for the best." The villagers were shocked. They hadn't noticed the farmer digging a channel from the nearby spring. It was so inconspicuous amidst all the chaos. During the drought, he'd silently channeled water from the spring to his fields, storing water for when the rains came. Meanwhile, the daughter walked among the thriving plants, a smile on her face. She understood her father's words now. Real strength didn't need noise. Quietly and patiently, her father had prepared for this moment. Then she turned to the astonished villagers and said, "So it's true. You don't need to show off to win." As she watched her crops sway in the gentle breeze, She knew her father's wisdom had brought them not only food but also respect and peace. Like the farmer, many of us find our greatest strength in silence. When we focus on our goals without bragging, we can achieve amazing things without drawing unnecessary attention or envy. Showing off is often a sign of insecurity. Those who feel the need to show off usually want attention because they don't have real confidence. On the other hand, those who trust the process of working hard in silence eventually shine brightly because their success isn't based on empty boasting, but on real ability and effort. Remember, true strength lies in quiet, persistent work. Let your efforts speak for you. It may take time, but those who stay focused and keep working in silence often end up winning in the end. They understand that real success isn't about showing off, but about doing your best quietly and steadily. True confidence comes from within, not from what others say or do. So instead of worrying about what others think, put your energy into your work and let your results speak for you. The daughter, now a little older, still looked at her fields with fondness. She remembered how her father had taught her that real strength didn't need noise. She realized that he hadn't just been talking about farming, he was teaching her about life. Years passed. The daughter and her family continued to live in the village. The drought was long forgotten, but the memory of the farmer and his wise words lived on in his daughter's heart. One day, while she was standing in her field, watching the sunset paint the sky in hues of orange and purple, she heard the monk's voice again. Just as the farmer and his daughter found strength in each other and in their work, we too can find comfort and support in the people around us. Don't be afraid to lean on your loved ones when times get tough. Together, you can overcome any challenge. And remember, even in the darkest nights, hope for the best. For in the end, it's often those who stay positive and keep working hard that come out on top. Don't let negativity or doubt bring you down. Instead, lift your chin up high, look towards the light, and move forward with courage. You never know what wonders await you around the corner. The daughter closed her eyes, savoring these words. She thought about how her father's quiet strength had not only saved their farm, but had also shaped her entire life. The monk's words echoed in her heart. She understood that true strength lay in facing challenges with quiet determination. She opened her eyes, looked at her fields, bathed in the golden light of the setting sun, and whispered, "Thank you, Father. Thank you for showing me the way." And that's when the monk spoke again, his voice carrying the wisdom of ages. "My child, let your life speak, not your mouth. Not grow like bamboo, strong, silent, and steady." As the last rays of sunlight dipped below the horizon, the daughter stood tall, feeling a deep sense of peace. She understood that the best revenge was living well, that true success wasn't about showing off, but about staying true to yourself. And with that, the story came to an end. It was a tale of quiet strength, reminding us that sometimes the most powerful voices are the ones that remain silent. Now I'll ask you, have you ever met someone who achieved great things without bragging? Share your thoughts in the comments. Also, where in your life can you choose quiet success over loud approval?